Temperatures in many parts of the country have remained below 30 degrees with sporadic rainfall. However, Europe and the US have been bracing heat waves in the past few days, and it's likely to extend for more than a week. Neighboring India and China has also struggled with floods, and the World Meteorological Organization Society has reiterated that the extreme weather patterns highlights the need for more climate action. Good evening, I'm Chitrakar, and these are the headlines of the hour. The much-awaited Central Committee meeting of Nepali Congress concludes for the day. The party reviews its performance during recent elections. A date for the policy convention yet to be announced. Minister for Physical Infrastructure and Transport Prakash Jala claims the Thankot-Nagdhunga tunnel way will be completed within a year. Says works have been expedited to ensure operation at the earliest. Heat wave continues to grip Europe. Temperatures expected to peak 46 degrees Celsius with extreme heat likely to continue for 10 more days in parts of Italy. And Man Bahadur Shrestha appointed the new captain for national men's volleyball team. Shrestha commits of delivering outstanding results. The Central Committee meeting of Nepali Congress, the largest party of the House of Representatives, has concluded for the day at the party office in Sanipa. A total of 10 topics, including the assessment of election results, have been included at the meeting, which is being held after around a year. After General Secretary Bishwa Prakash Sharma presented the agenda of the meeting, another General Secretary, Gagan Thapa, presented the annual calendar. The calendar presented by General Secretary Thapa has included topics including membership campaign of the party and the proposal to increase party departments from 48 to 70. A proposal has also been made to hold the Central Committee meeting every 2 months as provisioned by the party statute. General Secretary Thapa's proposal includes increasing new 500,000 to 700,000 members each year. Reports prepared by different departments are being presented at the meeting. Nepali Congress has broadcast its Central Committee meeting live from its official Facebook page for the first time. The meeting has concluded for today and will resume at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Minister for Physical Infrastructure and Transport Prakash Jala has said that the construction works of Thankot-Nagdhunga tunnel way will be completed within a year. Minister Jala, who had reached Thankot earlier today to inspect the progress of the project, said that only 32 meters of the tunnel remains to be constructed and that construction works have been expedited to ensure operation of vehicles through the tunnel within a year. The minister has termed the progress of the project satisfactory. The tunnelway is being constructed with the concessional loan of 16 billion rupees from Japan and an investment of 7 billion rupees from the government. The tunnelway, which is of 2.68 kilometers, includes 2 tunnels, main tunnel which is of 9 meters in width and a rescue tunnel which is 4 meters in width. 60% of the construction of the tunnelway has already completed. The project had begun in the year 2019. The Badi Malika Rural Municipality of Bajura has begun providing online services to service seekers. The local authority has begun providing online services for works including registration, issuing recommendations, projects, collection of tax, among others. The authority has said that an initiative has been taken to maintain promptness and transparency in its services and to connect the local residents with digital technology. The program has come into operation with an investment of 6 million rupees from the municipality and 14 million rupees from the Sudur Paschim province government. Saying they would not allow dumping of the waste of Kathmandu in the landfill site of Banchare Dada, the local residents and public representatives have protested today as well. The local residents have said that the several agreements reached with the government and the Kathmandu metropolis were not implemented and resorted to protest again. Vehicles carrying waste were stopped at Aletar in the border region of Thading and Nuwakot yesterday. Those vehicles have already returned to Kathmandu. The KMC did not send any vehicle carrying waste to the site today. Nepal Telecom Authority has begun collaborating with the operators of social media platforms to curb criminal and illegal activities happening through social networks, including Facebook, TikTok and YouTube, among others. According to the NTA, content spreading hate and fake news could be removed after reaching an agreement. On its own initiative, the NTA has contacted the operators of 3 social media platforms. The NTA has said that contents of concern could be removed after reaching an agreement. Preparations are underway to reach an agreement first with Facebook and Twitter. A total of 6 companies, including Google, Facebook and Microsoft, have entered Nepal's tax mechanism. These entities will now have to pay taxes to the government of Nepal for the revenue generated from Nepal. However, the impact and compensation for the damages caused by the contents posted on these social media platforms were yet to be regulated. In the budget for the ongoing fiscal year, the government had introduced plans to ensure the sound management of social media platforms and digital media. Parliamentarians have recommended operating the crusher and mining industries by formulating necessary laws. At the meeting of the Industries and Commerce Committee of the House of Representatives, parliamentarians have recommended allowing the operation of crushers and mining industries by considering their impact on the environment and natural resources. They have suggested providing rights to the federal, provincial or the local governments for the use of river resources. Representatives of the crusher and mining industries attending the meeting expressed the commitment of operating on the basis of criteria introduced by the government. However, they have added that the criteria for operation of crusher and mining industries at a distance of 500 meters from the rivers was not practical. According to them, there are around 1,200 crusher and mining industries across the country. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question: which entity must be more responsible for budget implementation? The options are A, political leadership, B, administrative mechanism, and C, public monitoring. Voting is on. Tap any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. The narrow-body aircraft of the Nepal Airlines, which has remained stranded in Malaysia, is making preparations to return to Kathmandu with the help of Air Asia, which is to provide it with required oxygen. The aircraft, which was to return to Kathmandu, was left stranded because of inadequate oxygen for the flight crew in the cockpit. The aircraft, which was to arrive at the Tribhuvan International Airport at 8 a.m. this morning, was not able to take off from Kuala Lumpur. According to Nepal Airlines spokesperson Ramesh Pokhrel, the aircraft would arrive at the TIA this evening. A total of 152 passengers were left stranded at the Kuala Lumpur airport following the delay. The aircraft was scheduled to land in Kathmandu via Bhairawa from Malaysia. Following the delay, the aircraft's flight to Bengaluru of India was also affected. 136 passengers had purchased the ticket for Bengaluru. After returning from Bengaluru, the aircraft is scheduled to return to Malaysia. However, according to the airline's officials, the flight to Malaysia is to be affected as well. 9 farmers have been felicitated with Chief Minister Award in Salyan. 7 farmers and 2 cooperatives involved in commercial agriculture have been recognized with Chief Minister Award. The awarded farmers have been involved in livestock farming, fish farming, dairy and cattle rearing. According to the Livestock Service Office Salyan, the awarded farmers had cooperatives had been generating more than 100,000 rupees per year in revenue. The blacktopping of the under-construction road section between Partibhanjang and Chahare of Nuwakot under the Mid-Hill Highway has begun coming off before the completion of the project. Of the 27 km of the Partibhanjang Chahare road section of the Mid-Hilly Highway, which is a national pride project, DBST Technology Blacktopping has begun coming off in the 16 km section. The blacktopping has begun coming off in several parts before the completion of the construction works of the project because of poor quality of density of sub-base and base of the road. Only around 57% of construction of the road section has been concluded, despite 3 extensions of the deadline. Maitihani municipality of Mahottari has purchased fire brigade to control the incidents of fire within the district. Prior to this, a Muslim settlement in Maitihani municipality, ward number 6, had been destroyed by fire amid absence of fire brigade. Various local levels of Mahottari has a total of 7 fire brigades. Time now for international update. A heat wave is continuing across southern Europe, with temperatures in the central Mediterranean expected to peak today. The Italian island of Sardinia is expected to see a high of 46 degrees Celsius. There are warnings extreme heat could continue for a further 10 days in parts of Italy. Spain has also faced consecutive heat waves, with temperatures yesterday reaching 44 degrees Celsius in the south of the country. There have been wildfires on the Spanish island of La Palma and in mainland Greece. Meanwhile, in the U.S. at midnight last night, the temperature at a weather station in Death Valley, California was still 49 degrees Celsius. The World Meteorological Society says extreme weather patterns highlight the need for more climate action. A heat wave in the Gaza Strip that has sent temperatures over 38 degrees Celsius has worsened power shortages and sparked discontent among residents who expressed frustration with the ruling Islamist Hamas group. More than 2.3 million people live in a narrow strip of land squeezed between Egypt and Israel, suffering power cuts for up to 12 hours a day. Meanwhile, railway stations across China's southwestern municipality of Chongqing have set up 127 cooling shelters to combat the intense summer heat. Most of the cooling shelters are equipped with air conditioning, free water, and even medicine to combat heat stroke. Temperatures in Chongqing have hit as high as 37 degrees Celsius in recent days and are expected to rise in the coming weeks. Chinese Premier Li Qiang said in a meeting with the U.S. climate envoy John Kerry today that cooperation was needed to tackle global warming as waves of extreme heat and rainfall hit large parts of the world. At the same meeting in Beijing, Kerry told Li that as the 2 largest emitters of greenhouse gases, it was vital for both countries to show the world how they could cooperate and bring to address this with the urgency it requires. Kerry's 3rd visit to China as U.S. climate envoy marks the formal resumption in top-level climate diplomacy between the countries that have been mired in disputes over Taiwan and trade. The former Secretary of State is the 3rd top U.S. official to visit Beijing in the past month. A tugboat near the O'Neill Bridge in Florence, Alabama has sunk in the Tennessee River, releasing thousands of gallons of diesel into the river water. The Florence Police Department reported that approximately 3,000 to 5,000 gallons of diesel fuel were spilled because of the incident. On Sunday, beaches were closed and people advised to avoid the water after fuel began washing up on the beaches surrounding McFarland Park. Local authorities have started an extensive cleanup operations to minimize the environmental damage. The exact cause of the boat's sinking remains under investigation. 4 naval ships of the Russian Pacific Fleet departed the harbor of Vladivostok to take part in a joint drills with the Chinese counterparts in the Sea of Japan later this month, the Russian Defense Ministry said today. The exercise is codenamed Northern Interaction 2023. The Russian task force consists of 2 large anti-submarine warfare ships and 2 multi-purpose corvettes. The Chinese naval flotilla of 5 surface ships set sail for the drills area on Sunday. According to a statement by China's Defense Ministry, the exercise is aimed at safeguarding the security of strategic waterways. The forthcoming naval drills mark enhanced military cooperation between China and Russia since the start of the conflict in Ukraine and takes place as Beijing continues to rebuff U.S. calls to resume military communications between the two countries. Firefighters have been on the front lines of rescue and relief efforts in South China since yesterday afternoon as powerful winds and heavy rain brought by Typhoontalim have battered the region. Talim, the fourth typhoon of the year, made landfall late yesterday when it roared ashore in the coastal areas of South China's Guangdong province, according to the National Meteorological Center, forcing the evacuation of 230,000 people in the province. Local authorities also ordered the closure of 68 coastal tourist destinations, called back some 2,700 fishing vessels and ordered around 8,260 fish farming workers to be evacuated ashore. Dramatic footage of a rescue operation in Guangdong's Yangjiang city yesterday afternoon showed firefighters helping a local resident haul his motorcycle off the road in highly dangerous stormy weather after lashing rain and violent winds made it impossible to continue driving. Elsewhere in the province's Zhangjiang city, firefighters freed the occupants of a car which was flipped into its side by strong gusts of wind after a 2-hour rescue operation. In parts of the southern island province of Hainan, where Typhoontalim spawned heavy downpours, the provincial firefighting department dispatched crews on cross-city relief missions to make up for the shortage of resources and manpower in areas most in the need of assistance. Given the dangerous storm surges late at night, firefighters brought a group of stranded fishermen safely ashore during an inspection operation along the coast in the province's Lingao County. In many areas of the island, first responders were also sent to clean up roads blocked by ripped-off tree branches and other debris to ensure smooth traffic. Russia's FSB security service said today it has arrested a Russian woman it suspected of collecting information on a critical infrastructure facility at the order of Ukraine's intelligence services. It did not name the facility, but a surveillance video which Russian media said was taken by the FSB showed the suspect using her phone to film near a hydroelectric power plant in the town of Uglich in Russia's Yaroslava region north of Moscow. She is then showed being arrested in her office by masked FSB and police agents. A court on Saturday ordered the suspect to be detained for 2 months. A U.S. national is likely to be in North Korean custody after crossing the inter-Korean border during a tour without approval, the UN command said today. The person was taking part in a tour to the Joint Security Area, the border village in the demilitarized zone, separating the two Koreas where soldiers from both sides stand guard. The UN command said on Twitter that a U.S. national on a JSA orientation tour crossed without authorization the military demarcation line into the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Currently, he is speculated to be in DPRK custody and that the UN command is working with their KPA counterparts to resolve this incident.
Sports News.
Man Bahadur Shrestha has been appointed the new captain of men's national volleyball team. A meeting of the Volleyball Association decided to assign the responsibility of the team's captain to Spiker Shrestha. The association had removed Hari Hajur Thapa from the responsibility of the team skipper a few days ago. Thapa was involved in the dispute between 3-1 Army Club and Gandaki Province during their match under the Prime Minister Cup Envoy National Club League Volleyball Championship. The association removed Thapa from the captaincy for their violent act against the spectators, and 3 other players were suspended as well. Shrestha, who plays for Army, had played his part in resolving the dispute. 26-year-old Shrestha has expressed his happiness on the trust shown by the association and has committed of delivering on the responsibilities. He has the experience of leading the beach volleyball team. Shrestha has been playing from the national team since 2015. Team Nepal will feature in the Asian Games in China under his leadership. The men's national volleyball team is set to play in the Asian Games for the second successive edition. 4 years after the United States won the Women's World Cup to cheers of equal pay, this year's co-host of the World Cup, Australia, have thrust the issue of gender equity back on the football's biggest stage as players across federations demand better conditions and pay. The Matildas called out gender disparity in World Cup prize money in a video message released yesterday, ensuring the topic will stay front and center days before the tournament kicks off on their home turf and in New Zealand. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. The much-awaited Central Committee meeting of Nepali Congress concludes for the day. The party reviews its performance during recent elections. A date for the policy convention yet to be announced. Minister for Physical Infrastructure and Transport Prakash Jala claims the Thankot-Nagthunga Tunnel Way will be completed within a year. Says works have been expedited to ensure operation at the earliest. Heat wave continues to grip Europe. Temperatures expected to peak 46 degrees Celsius with extreme heat likely to continue for 10 more days in parts of Italy. And Man Bahadur Shrestha appointed the new captain for national men's volleyball team. Shrestha commits of delivering outstanding results. That's all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will be at 10:30 tonight. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.